So as you guys probably seen today, company Airbnb just went public. That basically means that you and I as retail traders, retail investors can go out and buy up this company, invest into it, or even trade it. So today I took on a trade with this company Airbnb and I made a little over $6,000. And in this video, I want to dive into how to trade IPOs. I want to dive into all the recent IPOs and what has happened, including Dash, AI, PLTR, Unity Software, and so on, and what to look forward within these IPOs. Once again, welcome back to another video, guys. My name is Umar, and let's dive right into it. So as you guys can see, made a little over $6,000 in this trade. I'm going to walk you through this trade real quick and then kind of break things down. So today, Airbnb went public. Once they went public, my whole game plan, first thing I want to kind of say is when you guys trade IPOs, just understand it's extremely risky. This was a little risky. This trade was not planned at all, and it's very hard to plan for them because you don't know where the public, where the IPO is going to open up, where that company is going to open up, where it's going to start trading, what the wall is going to be, what the key levels are going to be. It's very hard to identify that, especially for a name that does not have any historical price data for us traders to kind of look back into and understand price action, right? So this is how my trade worked out, just to kind of break it down. I bought 500 shares exactly at 150. Like my fill went in right at 150. I wanted to get in a little bit above that. Now, the reason I was looking at 150 is because around 150, right when we got there, there was a huge wall. Now, once again, there's not a lot of historical data, so I could be completely wrong in this trade, and I know that. Now, my trade thesis came from the idea that I was up a good amount this week trading Snow and Tesla and a few other names. So I was like, you know what? If I take this trade and it goes against me, I'm okay with taking the risk. And once again, I don't recommend you guys to go out and take these type of trades. Not recommended at all, right? I took my first trade at 500 shares, rode out until 164, took 165 off, 135 off, right? So I kind of got out a point away from the high, which I didn't think it was going to stop there, honestly. I thought it was going to keep going. Now, the reason I got in and the reason I was focused on this is because I know there was a lot of hype around Airbnb, just like you guys saw with recent IPO names that just kind of squeezed up. If you guys remember Beyond Meat a few years ago, that stock just went insane when they IPO'd. So my thing was, you know, if we see some sort of momentum and some sort of buying pressure in this stock, I'll buy, I'll hold, I'll just ride out until I see that buying pressure starts, you know, declining. So with me, I started seeing declining once we got above 160. So once we got above 160, I was like, you know what? Let me take off 300 shares. So I took off 300 shares, locked about $4,400. After locking about $4,400, the remaining 200 shares I got out. I tried to get out around 159, right? Which was around this time, right? I tried to get out around this time, and I got out perfectly. We consolidated and we dumped. Now, the trade worked out for me very well, and I netted a little over $6,000, but let's talk about IPOs a little bit, right? When you guys trade IPOs, right, and I'm pretty sure a lot of traders got caught up in this today. They got in at 158. They're probably down 10, 15, 20 points or whatnot. You have to understand, when you're trading these names, you got to get in quick and get out quick. Like your execution has to be top notch. You got to get in, you got to get out right off the bat. That's number one. Number two, you have to understand that yes, Airbnb could be a great company, whatnot. They're extremely overvalued and they can keep going down. So you don't want to be that trader that got in at 160 or 150 or 140, and next thing you know, Airbnb is now at $10 or $20. Not saying it's going to get there. That's not my point, but I'm just saying as a trader, you don't want to be someone where you get into a position as a trader and you end up being forced into a investor, right? That's not what you want to try to do. Second thing with IPOs is especially hyped up IPOs like Airbnb and Dash and AI and PLTR and whatnot. They have so much eyes on them, and there's so much retail traders stepping in and buying them as retail has been getting a lot into the market, that they are worth keeping on your watch list. So Airbnb is definitely on my watch list moving forward. Now, the reason Airbnb is on my watch list, as you guys can see, if I go on the daily chart, I only have 1 day's worth of data, but going on to other stocks like, let's say, Dash opened up on the first day of trading. You guys can see it actually did not do that well, but if you go on to the first day of trading, right, and let's say you took on a quick trade, you can see that moved up about 5-10 points. So that was my same idea on Airbnb. Get in, you'll probably see a rally, get in and get out. That was all. Now, watching Dash moving forward, which is another IPO that recently just IPO'd. If you break 200, I'll probably get in. Another IPO, AI, right? Let's look at AI. So AI recently IPO'd too. Let's go on a 5-minute chart, and you guys can see AI IPO'd. Not a lot of activity towards the upside. IPO'd, went down to $90, and after going down to $90, today we saw extreme amount of acceleration in price and a lot of buying pressure, which drove it up to $130 from yesterday's opening price. About, I think it opened at 100. What was it, 100 or somewhere around 100? So we're up to 30 points from yesterday's area, and yesterday's low we're up about 40 points, right? So this is another IPO I would definitely watch going into tomorrow. Now, if we squeeze above 130s, we might keep going and we might keep rallying. Just like if you guys remember PLTR. PLTR was a good one. We IPO'd. They had a completely different IPO. It was a direct listing IPO. You guys should definitely go look that up. Stock was, stayed flat for about a month and a half. And then when it started getting steam, it started rallying super hard. And with the current market we're in, everything is overvalued. Extremely overvalued. So yes, we can sit here and we can say, how we have the Tesla bears kicking in and saying, oh, Tesla's extremely overvalued. Tesla's going to dump. Tesla's this, Tesla's that. Great. But with the current market condition, with the Feds printing so much money and everything being in like a complete bubble, you have to understand the valuations based on that bubble make sense. And I'm talking about the bubble. You pop that bubble and you go back to pre-pandemic levels. Yes, everything is extremely overvalued. But as traders, I don't care if Tesla is overvalued or not. I don't care if PLTR is overvalued or not. I don't even care if Airbnb is overvalued or not. Now, going into Airbnb, right, and I know there's a lot of naysayers saying, oh, Airbnb is overvalued, it's going to dump. Possibly, but at the same time, Airbnb might get a lot of steam and maybe go to 200, maybe go to 250. If you guys remember, there's a company that IPO'd a few years ago, Tilray, and when Tilray IPO'd, right, let's just look at their price action real quick. Look at their IPO. Their IPO'd, right, they opened about 20, went to 34, pulled back, and then squeezed all the way to $300, which is insane. And Tilray today is at $8, like exactly 807, like that's insane. So what I'm trying to say is, these IPOs can squeeze. They can go up crazy. Airbnb can go up crazy. But at the same time, as a trader, please don't get caught up in that trade where, oh, I got an Airbnb today, right? And it went against me, but Airbnb is a good company. I'll hold it long term. No, that's not how you want to trade. You want to get in, you want to get out. You want to have a plan. Going back to my trade, as I mentioned, my plan was pretty simple, right? Obviously, I don't consider this a real trade. It was just a momentum play. Breaking 150s, ride it out until I see momentum dying down. If a momentum dies down and momentum slows down, get out. You see, extreme momentum keeps driving, breaks 160, immediately breaks 160. My mind is, okay, if we get below 160, I'm out. But obviously, as the stock was going in my favor, as a trader, I also have to know when to take profit off the table. So in this situation, you can see I took 300 off the table. And as a trader, if you want to be in this game long term, right, always scale out, guys. Take money off the table. If you take money off the table, you'll do well. Don't be greedy. Even if this went to 200, and I had my remaining shares left, I would have been okay with it because of situations like this. So as a trader, keep that in mind and keep these IPO names on your watch list. They might have a lot of plays in the upcoming few days or upcoming few weeks. You don't want to miss it. And with that being said, just also understand that you don't want to get caught up in these names on the downside where you're invested in at 150 in Airbnb and Airbnb goes down to 70, 60 bucks and your plan wasn't even to invest, it was to trade. You know what I mean? With that being said, comment down below whatever IPOs you guys are watching, whatever names you're watching. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you so much.